Welcome to 2 Minutes of Gaming, where we talk about the top 10 video game topics for 2 minutes at a time. I'm Keenan, your host, and I'm with
Justin here. Welcome.
We have another exciting show. Honestly, Justin, I was really excited to get started with the show. We have a lot of crazy topics, whether we're talking about a lot of 2K news, Nintendo Switch, as you can see, as well as a couple rants from both of us, to be honest. So should be fine. All right, we'll start out with the biggest news of the week. I think I texted you in the morning about this, Justin. We woke up, was it Wednesday, Thursday morning, with great news from Japan. Nintendo announced that the Nintendo Switch Lite is coming. So for those who don't know, it's going to be a $200 handheld device with a 30% battery increase compared to the regular Nintendo Switch. But this one, you will not be able to dock it, which is kind of weird because the whole name Switch was switch from mobile to console, but you can't switch the Switch. So, Justin, what's your thoughts on that? And is this something that interests you?
Hell yes, number one. Okay. I was actually going to get a Switch next month, and then they announced this. So for me, I don't want the hassle of switching back and forth from my TV setup from the PS4 to the Switch to the PS4 to the Switch.
No pun intended.
So me, I am happy about this because it feels like a high class DS, like the most powerful DS you can think of without the dual screen. This is, and plus it's affordable. It's more affordable. The only thing is, I just want to point out to people, is that you have to look at the back when you buy the games because you have to make sure that it's handheld enabled, as they said in the video.
But how many games are really not going to, I mean, obviously 1-2 Switch, there was a couple more, but how many games are really not going to be able to be, or not compatible? I mean, the main ones are, Mario Kart,
Zelda's, Smash Bros. So I'm very, very excited. This came out of left field and out of nowhere. I'm surprised they didn't use this announcement at E3.
That's what kind of bothered me. So I was like, how cool would it have been to announce this at E3? But, either way, honestly, I'm super happy about it because the last episode, we were talking about how much the Switch has improved and how amazing it is, et cetera, et cetera. Now, Nintendo was like, hey, we're going to make it cheaper. And to be honest, Justin, when I was thinking about getting my Switch, I was like, well, honestly, no offense to the Switch, but I kind of like PS4 is my console gaming, where I see my amazing graphics on a big screen. And I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to use this Switch mostly mobile. Honestly, that's probably how I was going to use it anyway. And then even, like I said, bringing the price down. Honestly, I don't really care if I could use it on my TV or not. The only thing that does bug me, Justin, as the 2-minute bell goes off, is the colors. Those colors are horrible. Even the black is not fully black. It's like a grayish, and it's like all matte. It's not shiny. So that kind of bothers me because you know why, Justin? I'm going to get it at launch, and then in 6 months to a year, they're going to come out with new colors, and I'm going to be like, oh, that looks way better.
Yeah, that's how Nintendo does it, though. Yeah. We should be used to this by now.
Yeah. On a more serious note, I just want to send our condolences out to, we lost a brother in our YouTube community. To be all honest, Justin and I didn't know him too well, but for those unfamiliar with the topic, YouTuber Etika went missing for about a week right after he released a very eerie video talking about suicide. And he eventually they did find him in the East River in New York City. So before we talk about this, Justin, I just want to give just a quick moment of silence, if you don't mind. As you mentioned earlier, Justin, I know you didn't know him too well, but what's your thoughts on when you first heard this?
I would always say this when it comes to suicide, especially from someone who's seen, I haven't seen seen it firsthand, but someone who had, people in my high school that did it. you don't. There's no signs. There are people like, oh, and then I always had this saying is that you don't know who's screaming on the inside. Just because somebody's smiling, someone has a lot of followers, you seem like they're getting a lot of love, they're getting a lot of attention. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors. You don't know who is screaming inside. You don't know. We never know. There is no sign. Anything can trigger somebody to go over the edge like that. And it's a shame, so young, and it's a tough topic. But for those who feel like there's no way out, I always say this: no matter how bad you think your life is, there's someone out there that has it way, way, way worse, and they're still living, they're still fighting the good fight. Just reach out to people, even if you feel alone. There's even if it's strange, just reach out to people. There will be people out there that can help you. There are programs. There are other ways, and yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I want to piggyback off what you said. I want to kind of quote some of his. For those, YouTube took his last video down, but people reposted it and found it. And for those who haven't seen it, I want to kind of give you some of his quotes, and we are going to go overtime on this topic as well, because it is a serious topic. Before I get those quotes, I just want to let people know that phone number, 1-800-273-TALK, is a suicide prevention phone number. So if you feel like you don't have anyone else to talk to, that is a number there that can help you. And I believe it is 24 hours a day. I'm not quite sure about that, but I believe so. But some of the things that he said at the end of his video was, "I'm sorry, y'all. I shouldn't have pushed so many people away. Now I've got nobody." And like you mentioned earlier, that sometimes people feel alone about that. And this one quote really hit me because I kind of could relate to it. When he said, "I'm sorry for leaving such a stained legacy. I hope that my story maybe helps to make YouTube a better place somehow in the future, to where people know boundaries and limits and how far things should go." Now, I never want to sit here and blame anything or person on someone's death, but when I look at somebody like him, who, if you don't know his story, he's had situations where he was on video fighting a cop in the past. He tried to kill himself before, where the police, I believe they kicked down his door in New York to save him then. He was in a mental hospital before, so it was a series of mental illness. And as you know, this show was on YouTube, and the very first comment that we ever received was a negative one, ignorant negative comment. And I'm saying that to say, I don't know if this was somebody who lived on YouTube. He lived in front of the people. And I don't know if those comments were nice comments, half of them, right? And so I'm just saying, not trying to point any fingers or blame anybody, but I want the community to step up a little bit. I personally have gotten, I actually have both gotten death threats on YouTube, which is a whole nother story. I've received nasty comments all the time, but people think that since we're in this box, that they're watching us and that we're not real people, that we don't have families, that we're not, we don't have feelings, right? We're not soft, but, things affect people, that you say. So watch that. So again, not trying to point fingers or anything, but just always understand when you're leaving these comments on people's page, whether it's YouTube, Instagram, whether you're reviewing a video game, just understand that these are real people. So.
And I just want to add one more thing.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to the YouTube comments. Me and you have regular 9-to-5 jobs, right? Mm-hmm. We do 9-to-5, and we make money off of our side projects.
Doesn't matter if this show is successful or not.
Yeah, exactly. For some of these YouTubers, the majority of them, this is their job. This is their 9-to-5.
Yeah.
So imagine going to work every day and you're getting hundreds of thousands of trolls or hate comments. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying you can't, joke around from time to time and say, everybody's done it. Everybody's been trolled. Everybody leaves a joke comment or something like that. But when you go to the extreme levels, where you're threatening someone's family, or you're constantly hounding a creator or someone who's just pretty much doing this because they enjoy it. No matter how strong you are, the only strong is your support system, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
And if you feel like you don't have a support system, and then you constantly getting these negative feedbacks, people telling you ain't you ain't this, you suck, blah, 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 on a constant basis. Mentally, it weighs you down, no matter how strong you are.
Yeah. So
basically what I'm trying to say with the gist of it is, be conscious, and as they always say, would you want that to be me? Would you want someone to do it to you? Do unto others. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to randomly curse somebody out, and then how would you feel if somebody randomly cursed you out? It ain't gonna feel good. You know what I mean? It's usually common sense. We don't know who's screaming. Just because someone's out there because they got 1 million followers, they can take it. They got 1 million followers. They're rich. It don't matter if you're rich, you're poor. Mental health is very important. Spiritual health is very important. And it's time for people to be conscious. If you disagree with somebody, cool, but be disagreement in a respectful way. You know what I mean? So that's all I have to say about that. Let's just be more conscious, folks, of the comments you leave, because I guarantee you, sooner or later, the way the world's going, sooner or later, people will be getting charged for what they put. It's going to start being like jail time for people for trolling. Trust me.
Good.
Don't think that's not coming.
Yeah.
That's it.
Rest in peace. Let's end it with that. On a lighter note, there was after the NBA 2K19 sale, which it was like $2 or something like that, right? Wasn't it like Tony's last sale? $2, which is an amazing deal. If you don't have 2K, buy it. But the way they wanted to get their money back for that sale was to put ads in that are unskippable. Now, Justin and I investigated this. It wasn't unskippable in every section of the game, but Justin, just in general, not just to beat up NBA 2K, what's your thoughts on this new trend that we might see in gaming, unskippable ads?
First of all, unskippable ads should only be for free to play, period. That's it. If it's free to play and the developers have to recoup certain of the development costs, and they have to put ads, unskippable ads, you're not charging people to buy the game, you're playing it for free, go ahead, put ads, knock yourself out.
Mm.
But when I pay $60,
that's the difference. Yeah.
When I pay $60 plus your DLCs or whatever, the Street Fighter tried to pull that shit too, if you remember.
Don't give me stuff on Street Fighter. I'm in a positive mood.
Yeah. Then it shouldn't happen. I shouldn't have to see. I didn't see it, but I saw videos on YouTube. The guys posted it. I shouldn't have to see an FX ad before my game, and it says the game is completely loaded. Can't press X.
Yeah. That's
disgusting. And the trend is like it's disgusting. I don't get it.
It's getting to the point that, Lil Wayne said it best in his song. He said, "I never met somebody with enough money." And it's so true. And it's like these companies, 2K was over. And we're going to talk about EA, as you guys can see on the bottom. EA is coming up in a bit. But these companies make a buku bang, amount of money. And then they're like, how can we get more? Instead of creating a better experience, maybe, instead of maybe making more games to get more money, they're like, how can we get more out of this one game? I mean, these guys are already getting $60 alone. Yes. And then also they're getting all of that DLC. I mean, I know people in my phone, Justin, that have spent thousands of dollars
on VC. Yeah.
Okay, I'm talking about one version of 2K at a time. So I know they're making money, but it's just to the point now where 2K is getting greedy, and I'm hoping that they listen to their fans and they do not become this evil corporation that we'll talk about later.
Take two. They're getting greedy, so that'll be another day.
Yeah, it's another day. And more NBA 2K news. On a positive note, they just released a trailer for 2K20 and showed some WNBA women. So what's your thoughts on the upgrades? And also, what do you want to see in a new NBA 2K?
First, what I want to see, I'm tired of creating my guy for my play. Can we please just get a cloud so we can just
from scratch?
Yeah, I mean, with my attributes, like keep it as a continuous story, man. Like,
yeah,
I'm tired of creating the same guy. It's annoying, but I know that's not gonna happen because that's how they cake off with the VC points. So yeah, I hate to say this, 2K, you're a little late. Live did it first. So.
I'm in WNBA, yeah.
But it's good for female players that actually play NBA 2K and they want to have the WNBA in there, which is pretty good. From a marketing standpoint, I agree with it. It's nice. It's a nice addition. Let's see if they have their own season, which would be cool. If they have their own season set, if it's not just exhibition, don't really see the point. But if they actually have their own at least season mode where you can just pick your favorite, like put New York Liberty and then take them to the championship, that'd be cool. But it's a good move. It's a good move.
I'll say this. I think two things I really want to see them improve on. One, the All-Star festivities. People play competitively all the time, but kind of give NBA Live props. NBA Live 05 or 4, it was 05, where they introduced the dunk contest. The NBA Live dunk contest in Live 05 was so good. And I remember sitting with my brothers and just we were just competing in the dunk contest for like an hour. They had crazy dunks I'd never seen. I had crazy dunks I'd never seen. I mean, it was to the point where, like, I threw it off the shot clock, put it through my legs, dunked it back. Like, I had some really good dunks. I want to see them improve that. But in addition to that, since we have all these amazing duos in the NBA right now with all these amazing signings, I want the NBA to kind of focus a little bit more on their street side of the game where you could play 2-on-2s. Maybe have like a 2-on-2 tournament, right? So let's have LeBron and AD, versus Kawhi, Paul George versus, then the next game, maybe the next flip series, you got to play Curry and Clay, maybe have a tournament. Just not only, like, again, 5-on-5 basketball is cool, but 2K, let's change it up.
Agreed.
As well as that, 5-on-5. But speaking of evil corporations, so I'm going to get out the quote for this one here for those who don't know. Matt Bibley did an interview with the GameIndustry.biz. And inside the interview, he said, 25 years at EA, and I still struggle with the external perception that we're just a bunch of bad guys. Prior to that interview, there was another interview with EA that said, loot boxes are quite fun and quite ethical. So what's your thoughts on EA? And Justin, is EA the bad guy, or are we just jumping to conclusions here?
EA is the Disney of video games. What I mean by their practices. And, the mouse is going to probably come from my head, but whatever. But yeah, I think of them as the Disney of video games. Like, look how many times they bought studios and shut them down. Look at their practices with the loot boxes. Look at the backlash they had with Star Wars Battlefront 2. Yep. The FIFA makes them so much money because of the loot boxes and everything else. The practices, their business practices, the way they handle business, it's unethical. And even just complaints that they get. They don't listen to the fans, and their management sucks. That's a different story. They're not innovative as they used to be, and the reputation it's warranted. You could go to the Glassdoor.com and look at the reviews. It's not good. But from actual employees, it's not good. I mean, so they've been the most hated for a very long time. So I don't know why this is such a surprise for them. And as far as loot boxes being fun, for who? For y'all, because y'all making money. I'll be saying, hey, it's fun for everybody too. No.
I think EA lives by the motto. There's a saying that people say, like, a dummy is born every minute or something like that, or something like that. A dummy is born every day. And EA figures, like, if we can just get the dummies' money, all the dummies' monies at the same time, then we're good, And I think to answer my question, yes, EA is the bad guy. And this employee, Matt, who I may run into at GDC or some event because I'm always in all these gaming events, I'll tell him to his face, he's been at the company so long that he can't see the forest for the trees. He's so stuck in there that, listen, do we think that, they're kidnapping kids and, have slave labor at EA? No, we're not saying that. Are these guys nice guys? Would they buy me a cup of coffee or something? Probably. They probably are nice guys. But at the end of the day, it's a publicly traded company, and they care about one thing, and that one thing is not making the best video game. That one thing is to make the most money, the most efficient way, and to have the highest return on their investment. And I know there's a lot of, listen, let's be clear. Every company is here to make money, right? Let's be clear. 99% of the companies, right? But again, we talked about things being ethical. The fact that they think loot boxes are ethical shows me that the executives at this company completely delusional.
Agreed.
All right. So I just kind of had my little ether, mini ether. Justin, somebody said you're still mad at Shenmue. So what's going on with Shenmue update?
Yeah, because they just keep. Oh my god. All right. So for those who don't know, recently, as you already know, Shenmue has become an Epic exclusive, right?
All right. It's an Epic failure too, by the way.
Yes. It's an Epic game exclusive for the PC owners. All right. Okay. Then, recently, they just... Oh, no, that was the first thing. Second, they was telling people they're not going to get their refunds. They fought that, and they're getting their refunds. Epic Store is going to be paying for everybody's refunds. Now, the people who back the freaking game are not eligible to get the season pass. Like, oh my god, these are the people who gave you money to make your game, and you're not going to give them all the DLC? Are you insane? Like, and this is why I don't back anything. I strictly, even with my own projects, I never do the GoFundMe's, the Kickstarters. One, because I don't want to feel obligated to the public, and two, for situations like this, I've seen too many stories of people who back these projects, project never comes, or the project is just canceled and people run away with the money, or you get something like this where they just pull the thing under the rug because they signed with a big corporation. Why didn't the developer just go to Epic Game Store in the beginning? Why didn't they just go to Epic and like, hey, here's a license, can you guys make Shenmue 3? Give us the money, we'll make Shenmue 3.
Yeah.
He's a big enough name. Yeah. It's not like he's a rookie. He's been doing this for years. Yeah. And now you're not giving these poor people their season passes? Like, I can't comprehend that. Oh, it doesn't go with the retail has different bonuses compared to the PCs. I gave you money to make the game. Give me everything. Or give me my money back. As simple as that.
This is such a mess.
Rant over.
All right. Save some of that energy because I need it for the next topic. My personal favorite topic of the show. GameStop.
Chocolate.
Let me just kind of rewind a little bit. Chocolate? That was good. GameStop recently bought ThinkGeek. For those who don't know, ThinkGeek kind of supplies like a bunch of gaming gear or like nerd gear. So they have like Zelda pens and like, Mario cups and all that good stuff. And I guess the idea, GameStop said, we're probably going to buy this company and bring their stuff into our stores as well. As of right now, just to kind of give people a background and give people an idea, GameStop right now, their stock is the lowest it has ever been. It is trading at $4 and I think it's 91 cents, which is horrible. Just to give you a comparison, Disney, which we spoke about earlier, their stock is $144 right now. Okay, compared to the $4 from GameStop. WWE, which we complain about also on a different show, right? Is $73 per share. And then Macy's, another retail giant that is right next to GameStop in a lot of stores, in the malls, I should say, is at $21. So GameStop opened in 2002 at $9 a share. In 2008, which we probably can agree was their peak around that time when games was just flying off the shelf, was $61 the stock. and now it's down to $4.91. They can't even sell a company. Do you think that ThinkGeek buying acquisition was the right move? And also, what should GameStop do to increase their stock?
Well, first I want to tell everybody I'm not a mathematician, so forgive me for this. Okay, first thing I would say for the ThinkGeek acquisition, ThinkGeek is a good company. It's cool. I've had a pleasure of visiting them when I go to events and everything else like that. Mm-hmm. For GameStop to spend money to kind of, I guess it's more easier to buy them out. That way you're not licensing whatever or paying a fee for them to be in the store or vice versa. So it's a smooth partnership. I noticed GameStop's change when I went like a couple of years back because I haven't stepped foot in GameStop. I'm like, there's more apparels than anything.
Yep, a lot of apparel.
And what GameStop needs to do, honestly, I mean, it's not going to work, but I'm just saying what they should have done a while back, they should have been in Epic Game Store's shoes. They should have put themselves on a digital distribution platform.
Yeah.
No one's really buying physicals anymore. And it doesn't help that your practices every time I go there and I'm asking for a new game, you're trying to give me a used game. That's another reason why people are stopping going in. No one wants to be, hey, right. Yeah, give me this new, give me the new. Do you want it used? I just said give it to me new. Why are you trying to get? Why would I buy a used game when I want it new? No. So it's.
I just went in there recently to buy my new PS4 controller because my PS4 controllers keep breaking. That's another story. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really feel like ordering on Amazon, and so I said, let me just walk in. And they were trying to sell me like a used controller, and I'm like, no, like I need a brand new controller because my used controllers don't work. That's why I'm buying a brand new one. But I think this for me, and we're gonna go overtime with this one as well, is so satisfying. This company treats their employees like garbage.
Yes, they do.
I didn't work there before, but if you don't believe me, go to YouTube. Right after you watch this video, go watch some other videos about how they talk about what the actual employee story. I have friends that work there as well.
Me too.
Yeah, they forced that on us. They forced the used games because that's where they really make their money. In addition to that, I never seen so usually if a company treats their employees like garbage, they treat their customers like kings or queens. This company treats the customers like garbage too. You know how many times I went there, sold a pretty new game that was, a game that came out 2-3 months ago for, $50, $60. And I'm like, hey, here's trading. They're like, oh, $5. I'm like, I remember one time I sold like, I think it was like Madden or something like that. And it was like this year's Madden, but the new one was coming out like 3 months or whatever, right? And I was broke, but it's like when I was in my 20s. And I'm like, damn, I need to sell this Madden. Yo, it was like 50 cents for Madden. I was like, 50 cents. He was like, yeah, because sports games don't sell. I'm like, so why are you selling it for $40 on the shelf? You buy it from me for 50 cents and you sell it for $40? You're full of it. So this company has been creating so much bad karma. But in addition to that, let me take a moment to insult the executives because it must be a group of monkeys that run that place because these guys must don't believe in internet. All right? When the whole world is like, internet's coming, it's next, download games. Hey, everybody, we're going to play games online. GameStop is like, nah, ain't nobody doing that. Everybody just going to buy physical. Now, you do have that vocal minority, Justin, that says, I'm only going to buy a disc. The DLC, I'm going to be locked out of the company. I'm going to be locked out of my digital content one day, and I don't really own it. You have these guys that say that, right? There's probably 5% to 10% of the population that says that, right? And those guys are very vocal, right? Guess what, guys? I can still play my games that I downloaded 10 years ago. So calm down. Anyway, like you said, they should have let me give them some free advice, all right? They should have went digital. Like you said, it should have been Steam versus GameStop as far as the digital marketplaces. But in addition to that, I remember years ago, probably about 10 years ago, they partnered with Capcom to do a Street Fighter tournament. And I started to think to myself, like, GameStop should have become a neighborhood, a community where, you don't fire all these people all the time, so you have the same employees in there, so it's not a lot of turnover. So when I come in and I see Jim, I say, hey, Jim, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a couple months. Hey, guess what? I beat this new game. What do you recommend? What game is similar to God of War? Do you have something? Hey, Keenan, here's a list of games. That's how you sell more. That's how you create a partnership. And that's how you keep me coming back. But in addition to that, go back to my, this is like a 4-minute rant, but to go back to my the original point about the tournaments, when you kind of create that community environment, then we have, hey, we having a launch party event. Guess what? It's a digital game, but we have such a strong community that we're going to come here and we're going to play it together. In addition to that, we're going to have NBA 2K tournaments. We're going to have Street Fighter tournaments, and these things are going to be held at every GameStop, okay? And we're gonna do these things without the partnership of a Capcom to push us to do these things. And then my last little point that I would make if I was them, I think that they should have really partnered with some of the indies. Now, there's GameStops in every community, right? In every city, every state. There's indie developers in every community, every state. If you're a GameStop, yes, in the New York, Californias, we don't really need a GameStop to showcase our games. We have, like I mentioned, playcrafting events. We have GDCs, E3s, etc. But if you're in Indiana and you're an indie developer, how cool would it be to have a little booth set up at GameStop, and when people come in to buy games or to buy shirts or whatever, or to go to the tournament, whatever these things you're bringing them in for, they see your indie game, you're partnering with them. They could have done so many different things to bring more bodies and eyes to that store. Now they're trying to sell merchandise, which half the store was merchandise, Justin, when I went there. But it was like, dude, it's too little too late. I went to GameStop to buy a controller, and guess what? Probably not going back anytime soon.
Oh, I want to say one more thing before we go.
Right, go for it.
What they also could have done, knowing that digital's taking over, partner with the big AAA companies, and you kind of, it's called GameStop, right? So change your whole business model. Make it a type of, a place for kids to go during the day. Yeah. And then at night, it could be like a gaming lounge where the adults can play the new games, set up with the systems, charge drink, like turn it into an actual lounge. We have something in New York called VR World. And it's a virtual reality lounge. Like, you go there, there's drinks at the, you get to get drinks at when it's prime time. You can sit down, play some VR games. That could have been something they could have done, and then say like, oh, I don't got the Switch. All right, let me go to GameStop and let me go play the Switch for like a phenomenal fee for like $25 for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
But hey, rest in peace, GameStop. It's been fun.
No rest in peace. Burn in hell, GameStop. On a positive note, on a happy note, E3, they showed us a lot of games that are that have real actors included. So we're finally at that point in gaming where we're getting AAA actors like, John Berthenol, I'm pronouncing that last name correctly, for those who don't know, from The Punisher and also season 1 and 2 of The Walking Dead. He was in The Ghost Recon at E3. In addition, Keanu Reeves also presented at E3 as well to talk about his new game. And obviously, we know Death Stranding has a list of real actors. But Justin, off the top of your head, what's some actors that you would like to see included in games in the future?
Denzel. And the reason why I said Denzel, the reason I said Denzel is because that's so out of his element.
Yeah.
That's something he has not yet done. He has not done a CGI project or voiceover for that matter. I would like to see Denzel in that type of space, in that type of range. And it will have to be, I could see something like a cop game or detective type of game. I don't really see Denzel doing sci-fi. He already did that with Virtuosity, which sucked with Russell Crowe. I would say Hugh Jackman, but he did that already with Wolverine.
Do something else, yeah.
Ben Affleck. I would like to see Ben Affleck in it, and just for the women, Angela Bassett.
Amazing.
Yeah, Angela Bassett. Halle Berry did Catwoman game.
Don't count those half-ass games.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, Denzel, Ben Affleck, Angela Bassett, just to name some off the top of the few. But the ones I did want to see they did it. Daniel Craig did the Bond games. So I got to see the actors I wanted to see so far, which is pretty good.
You know what? I want to see Denzel, but here's the thing. I'm super picky about Denzel, who he works with. I want to see Denzel in the David Cage game, and I want them to hook him up with every goddamn piece of motion capture equipment that they have, and I want them to capture his exact walk. You know, Denzel has that certain walk and that certain smile, and I don't think anybody else, maybe not anybody, but I don't trust a lot of studios except for was it Quantic Dream?
Yeah.
I don't trust many studios except those guys to really master it. And I'm going to say my last one is going to be a little bit weird. I want Leonardo DiCaprio to star in Resident Evil Code Veronica remake, which it hasn't been announced. I'm just making this up. Because, remember, I'm going to bring it back to my gamers from the old school. When it first came out for Dreamcast, Resident Evil Code Veronica, there was a fake Leonardo DiCaprio. Steve was in the game. And he looked just like Leonardo DiCaprio, so much that they had to change his appearance in the remake. And in my body, as a kid, I was like, dude, that's Leonardo DiCaprio. He just didn't sound like him. So I would love to have a remade Leonardo DiCaprio on board this time and have his voice and have him turn to a monster. Not the spoiler, sorry, whoever they beat Resident Evil Code Veronica 20 years ago. But Steve turns into a monster, so a boss. I want to see Leonardo DiCaprio as a tyrant. So anyway.
I can see that. And it'd be different because he didn't do horror yet.
Yeah, just my thoughts, whatever. Anyway, before we finish, we got two more topics. So as we saw, as you mentioned earlier, the Nintendo Switch Lite is coming out September. We forgot to say the date for those who don't know. It is September. But what do you think of the current state of portable gaming? Nintendo, I felt like, didn't go as hard as they could have with the 3DS because there were some rumors about, all their games going on iPhone and other mobile devices. They put Mario Run on there, Animal Crossing on there, a couple other games. And people kind of felt like mobile was being taken over by phones. What's your thoughts now after a couple years of this and this Lite coming back?
Honestly, I think Nintendo is the only one really scratching that market that's not a mobile company. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to be roaring back in a big way. I think the Switch Lite will really elevate it that way. Mm-hmm. Depending on how the Switch Lite is, maybe Sony will consider probably doing another PlayStation Portable. Probably not, because they didn't. We seen that Nintendo is king when it comes to this. Mm-hmm. I still think that mobile is still going to be the top portable thing for people because people love those Candy Crushes. People are playing the Save My Cereals and those type of games. So mobile is still going to be the top dog because think about it this way. I'm going to pay $200 plus. I am for the Switch, but say like they had a new PlayStation Portable. I'm going to pay $300 plus for a mobile handheld game when my phone cost me $800 and I can get games there. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's going to be roaring back in a new way. I think mobile is still going to be there.
You know what I hope for? I hope we start to, because honestly, as much as I love mobile, and obviously I'm a mobile developer, there are times when I'm developing a game and I'm like, damn, I wish I could just put a controller. I mean, you can put digital controls, I understand, digital analogs and stuff like that, but it's never the same as a real physical controller. So I do feel like mobile games, there's only going to be a certain type of game that really you can really enjoy. I mean, Fortnite was kind of the exception where their buttons on screens were great. But I do feel like there will always be a home for mobile. But what I would love to see in the future is I would love to see more of our future consoles as we kind of slowly shift towards a console-less future. I would love to see more consoles kind of focus on being mobile, like the Switch, and also console. So I think that, like, honestly, if Microsoft did something like that with Xbox, where they was like, okay, Xbox One, you can just grab it and play it mobile. Honestly, I'll probably get Xbox. So, no. Last but not least, Justin, we have we're going to call this section the Indie Corner. So going forward, people, I'm going to start to invite some of my indie developer friends and other cool indie developers I see on the show to talk about their games, but not only their games, just in general, their projects. So if you want to be featured in this segment, feel free to reach out to myself, Justin, leave a comment in there, and we'll get you guys on. But I want to start with you, Justin. You've been working.
I'm the inaugural one. Okay.
Tirelessly. You have taken over my spot as the hardest working person in America. Last year I was the hardest working person, not anymore, unfortunately. I'll be back at it though. But you've been working on a couple things, but the thing I want to talk about today is heart to heart. So for those who don't know, we have a lot of new listeners, people who don't follow us on social media. What is heart to heart? Give us an idea. What is this about? What is heart to heart?
Okay. Wow. To start with that, I have to go a little bit into the other then so it can make sense. Heart to Heart is a visual novel that I'm working on, which is kind of a continuation or kind of a side story that's tying into an overall narrative that I started with my comic book Cry Hero, which came out last year. So what it is that it's a visual novel that's taking place between issue 2 and issue 3 of my actual comic book. So it's a way of me world building. So it's showing you a different city, different lives, different people. And what Heart to Heart is basically a social commentary on relationships. So you're going to be following two main characters. Sakura Kowabushi, who is a pop idol who is now on the verge of resurgence. And then you have Kenji Takahashi, who is a poet who is about to release his first book. And both of them are trying to juggle careers and their relationship, their boyfriend and girlfriend. They're trying to juggle their careers and their relationship while also dealing with temptation and things that people have dealt with in the industry. So I've been doing a lot of research and reading a lot of tragic Hollywood stories, some triumph stories. And what I'm doing with the way I'm designing it is that just like, Telltales and everything else, every choice that you make will affect the story. So what you guys are going to be seeing with the clip that we're providing right now is you're going to have a choice of, say, like right here, you're going to have Kenji deciding whether you can wake up or sleep for 5 minutes. So if he wakes up, he gets to see Sakura on time before she goes on tour. He doesn't wake up, well, he's going to have a pretty angry girlfriend. And each story branches off. Each choice branches off to a different scenario. So there's never going to be, we're going to lead right back. No, it's different outcomes regardless. So also adds replayable value to it because you're like, okay, let me see what happens if I do it this way, and this way. So that's Heart to Heart in a nutshell.
What kind of genre would you say this is?
I would say it's a slight, for us anime otakus out there, we call this a slice of life. Okay. For video gaming, it's a visual novel genre. Okay. But I would say romance, if anything.
What was some of your, did you have any other visual novels that inspired you?
There's actually one called, something Lucy. No, If My Heart Had Wings. That's a very good presentation one. I'm actually playing this one called Crystalline, which is very good, which is how I actually want my presentation to be. Okay. Because right now us have still images. But what I'm trying to do down the line, hopefully, before it's released in February, that's the slated day, February 14th. I want to release it on Valentine's Day. Nice. What I'm trying to do, hopefully, sooner or later, I'm going to look into live 2D. What that way, it's not just a still image. You'll actually see the characters blink. The characters will be animated. They'll be able to move. And maybe I'll add dialogue. I'm not sure yet. But it's a one-man team. I'm using the Tyranno Builder engine for this because I don't know coding or anything like that. So it's easier for me to drag and drop and then, research. If I do need code, I can research or have a developer help me add certain things into it. So it's a one-man team. So not trying to go too hard because I still got to do Cry Hero and Spades and everything else I'm working on.
Yeah. All right. So you said, like you mentioned, it's coming out tentatively right now, February 14th, 2020. Yeah. Which platforms are you targeting right now?
It's going to be Steam, iPhone, Android, and you'll be able to download it directly from cryhero.com as well.
Okay.
Once I get the company name back.
Cool. All right. Well, that does it for us. Was there anything else you wanted to add on that on Heart to Heart for the people before we wrap up the show?
Oh yeah, if you're interested, you can follow us on Instagram at Heart to Heart. Oh yeah, Heart to Heart, not the number, but TO Heart _VN. Or you can just go to cryhero.com and you can look at the Heart to Heart section in there, and to get more information.
Cool. Absolutely love it. Well, thank you guys for joining us in this week's episode. I know it was a little bit longer than others, but we had some no pun intended, but heartfelt topics this show. Well, Justin, thank you for joining me again today.
Pleasure.
We'll do it again in a month. And people, like I said, thanks for watching. Until next time.